In this video, I'm going to be showing you what I'm doing to prepare for my 3-mile shot that I'm going to be attempting this October with my brother and the oldest kid. This is a satellite image of the area we're going to be shooting at. The red line, that was a 2.1 mile shot my brother and I made with a 338 Lapua with some 14 to 25 mile an hour winds. It's pretty intense. We also shot the 1 mile, that was the purple line, with our 6.5 Creedmoors. This time we're going to be setting up and shooting along the yellow line. That's going to be a 3-mile shot. This is the Desert Tech 416 Barrett rifle I purchased. That's my Charlie. Comes with a 50-minute offset. You can turn it up at 100-minute increments with this knob. Right here, that's 350 minutes. That's 650, 550, 450, and so on. And you can turn it back down, and you're going to be sitting at 50 minutes additional elevation. That's my bipod I just purchased. This thing seems to work a little better than the Atlas bipod with the skis on it, and you can adjust the legs for your elevation, and it holds the elevation pretty nice. So this is the new rifle. And now I'm going to get into the load development that I had to work on for this. 190 grains seemed to work the best, but I would have problems with flyers, or my groupings would start to spread apart. That's what this image is showing. And it took me a little while and some research to figure out that I needed to weigh my primers and sort them by weight. And that really changed things. Right here, you can see I sorted the primers, put the weights down on the bin. This one weighs out to 18.02 grains. So I stick it in that little bin for that. This one weighs out to 18.06. And I'll stick that in this bin for 06. And then this one weighs out to 18.18. Look at that difference. So I'll stick that in here, and then when I load the rounds, I'll load them by those different weights and group them out that way. This is how all my groupings are looking now. It's a lot better. I ended up with 190 grains of reloader 50. I'm using the cutting edge MTAC. It's a 452 grain bullet, and I'm getting awesome groups. So here's some data I collected with the Garmin chronograph. I'm running about 3,144 to 48 feet per second, almost 10,000 foot-pounds of kinetic energy. Got a really nice spread and standard deviation on that. And then that's an image of a cold bore shot at 500 yards. These are some max loads. You can see the primers are blown out and the ejector marks on them. It's pretty intense. Right here, I'm annealing some 6.5 Creedmoor brass. As you can see, it has smaller holes. The 416 won't fit in here. So what I do is I take the wheel and I put some electrical tape around it. It fills the gap. Now I have to use my 338 wheels because the 6.5 is just too small. But I put the tape around it and it fills in that hole. That way the round doesn't bounce as bad and get caught in that little bit of a hole. And then I stick the wheel back on. Let me put a little more tape on here. It's kind of a Rube Goldberg, but the manufacturer doesn't make big enough wheels for a 416 to fit in. And I put the wheel back on, tighten the nut, and I'm ready to go. Here, I'm taking the 416, using a tool just to put it on the wheels. And I just let it spin up in here. Because the brass is larger, I leave the speed setting for what my 6.5 would be for one rotation. Now I let this go for 4 rotations just to get the brass hot. You can see how that's going here. Just bumping around a little bit. I just use my tool to pull this off and swap it out with another one. I ended up having to buy a large press for everything that I'm doing now. This is a Lee press. It's for the 50 BMG. I ended up picking up the 416 dies. I end up using this small little applicator to put the lube on the shell. I put a little bit inside too. That helps that expander slide. And then I just wipe the oil all over the shell casing. Put it in here and give it a press. There you go. That's one. This is a cold bore shot at 500 yards. Hit dead center. I went down to Coleman's Creek to the 1 mile range not too long ago and did a 1 mile shot just to check my trajectory. I had to do a little bit of adjustment on it. I was a minute high. So I dialed that in. Ended up hitting a 10-inch steel plate, 3 inches off center. So everything's good to go. Here's some ammo that I loaded up. I still have a lot of different systems to check out and make sure they work. Our cameras, the shot recorder, and everything. And I hope to have some nice videos after we come back from our shoot. Stay tuned.